Hey everybody, welcome to the SkyLounge, and this is Cruise Peruse, episode number 154. Ladies and gentlemen, it is past Christmas Day and Boxing Day. For those of you who don't know, Boxing Day is December 26th. Why do they call it Boxing Day? I actually don't know that. I was gonna look it up, but got lazy about it. Fed myself food, slept, hence the face just blowing up like a goddamn blowfish. But I'll tell you this, boys and girls, there has been some fun sports ball in the past 2 days. Christmas Day and Boxing Day. So let's start off with Christmas. Obviously, Christmas Day, December 25th, it is all-day NBA action. All right? We all know this if you live in the States, that Christmas Day is all about the NBA. It's all about basketball from 9 a.m. Pacific Standard Time all the way to, 10, 11 at night? It's a full fucking day of basketball. And I'm not gonna lie to you, boys and girls, so I wasn't home. I was actually at my buddy's house from the night before. And got up early to watch this game, the 9 a.m. game, which happened to be the Boston Celtics taking on the Toronto Raptors. Now, you have to realize with the Raptors that they didn't have Pascal Siakam. They didn't have Marc Gasol. But the Boston Celtics are really good. I've been saying this for quite some time now, since November, that Boston is a contender. I think Boston is going to be one of those teams that people are going to write off immediately because of, history, maybe Brad Stevens, and the general fact that they're the Celtics. Like, no one really talks about the Celtics as much as I would imagine. But the Celtics are a great team. I think this is a team that we can, down the line, see in the Eastern Conference Final. And that's me saying that, based on how well, all these teams have been. I think the Eastern Conference has been a real surprise, a real pleasant surprise. All these teams are actually good. And so Boston actually wins flat out 118-102 in Toronto. And I wasn't really all too surprised Boston winning it. What I was surprised was, Boston, as good as they were playing, Toronto had opportunities to bring it close. Now, if Siakam and Gasol were in the picture, I'd say it's a bit of a different game, a different dynamic, perhaps a different scoreline suggesting a Toronto win. But overall, I was very impressed with how the Celtics dealt with, a team on the road where, of course, they're missing some of their key guys, but oftentimes good teams will kind of choke out, even if the circumstances are set for them. And yeah, we're going to talk about the fucking Houston Rockets in a minute here, but real quick, we got to talk about the very next game, which was the Milwaukee Bucks taking on the Philadelphia 76ers. And Milwaukee losing 109-121 against Philadelphia. I was bummed out, not going to lie to you. I like Giannis, but he had a pretty off game, relatively speaking. He was getting smothered by that Philadelphia defense, and the bench for Philadelphia was scoring tremendously. You have guys like Joel Embiid who are going to be just hyped up after that Christmas game, along with Ben Simmons, who I think are like the fucking most overrated duo, perhaps next to Westbrook and Harden. I think the Simmons-Embiid duo is one of those things where you could clap all the fucking statistical crap that they're gauging in, but generally speaking, I don't really trust their mentality. I don't think they're down the line and in clutch time they're not going to get shit done. Although this is why you have guys like Al Horford, Tobias Harris. But Philadelphia just kind of seems like the same team that I've been watching for months. People keep telling me this is a contender, but I keep telling people, I don't know. There's something really off about this 76ers team in the moments that count. And I believe the 76ers, even if they make it to the Eastern Conference Final, I don't think they're going to the NBA Final. I just really don't believe that at all. even in this win against Milwaukee, I thought they looked really underwhelming. Just kind of there, but not all that impressive. I know the Eastern team bias has to set in with all these channels like ESPN, Fox, NBA TV. But the reality to me is all right, dude, you could boast this East team all you want, but I don't think the Philadelphia 76ers are championship contenders. I think they're going to make a great run in the playoffs, and then somehow, some way, they will choke it off in the playoffs, in the moments that count. You can see the body language of certain teams and certain players after a phenomenon, right? Last season, when Embiid and the gang gets the fucking playoffs, I mean, you had Kawhi Leonard just becoming their father, which, wow. That was pretty fucked up, but that's what Philadelphia kind of went through. And if you're speaking of fatherhood and ownership, look no further than the Golden State Warriors owning the Houston Rockets on Christmas Day. Holy shit. So, let's put this into context, okay? The Golden State Warriors win 116-104 against the Houston Rockets in their new arena, Chase Center. And, okay, Golden State Warriors had obviously no KD because he's in Brooklyn, injured. They have no Steph. They have no Clay. Essentially, the guys who they have on the floor, big names, are Draymond Green, D'Angelo Russell, and some cat named Damien Lee. And I'm not going to lie to you, Lee was lighting it up. He was fantastic all game long. And the Houston Rockets looked fucking pathetic. They went on these crazy runs where they went scoreless. It was that playoff series from a couple years ago. You guys remember when in Game 7, I think CP3 was injured for the Rockets, and then the fucking Rockets went on to go shooting, 0 for 29 for the threes? I mean, they went 0 for whatever the fuck for nearly 6+ minutes. I mean, the Houston Rockets are the most fucking the biggest fucking perennial underachievers. And every fucking Rockets fan will tell me, oh, this is the greatest duo in Harden and Westbrook. Oh, this team's gonna make it into the fucking championship. Bullshit. Shut up. I see this team every fucking season say the same goddamn thing. And I gotta think, I mean, can you finally prove it this time? I've heard this every year. Every year. I heard the same thing every year. You fuckers haven't done shit since Hakeem. What the fuck is there else? What the fuck else is there to say? The Houston Rockets are such fucking disappointments. And every time you watch them, it's oh my God, this is all they can do. This is all they're going to muster up. And again, against a fucking dead Warriors team, a completely destroyed Warriors team, the Rockets can't grab a win. The Rockets are owned by the Golden State Warriors. It's hilarious to me. It is absolutely hilarious to me how the Houston fucking Rockets can't grab a goddamn win against a injury-filled Golden State Warriors team. Wow, if that doesn't speak mediocrity and perennial underachieving, I don't know what does. I really don't. And, I'm going to apply this, statement and principle to all these Christmas Day games. Christmas Day games are just one game, right? As much as I berate Houston, they're still going to make it to the playoffs, more than likely. I mean, if they do, that'd be good for them, but it'd be hilarious to me if they don't make it. But here's my whole thing, boys and girls. The Christmas Day games is an indication of where your team is at around halfway through the NBA season. Not even halfway, but, about maybe a third or so of the way in. 30 to 40%, let's just say that. You get a slight indication of what teams can offer. And, by no means is a Christmas Day game the be-all, end-all, marker for a team's season. And I hate it how media heads always want to assume like Christmas Day games are the only games that matter because that's the only game the fucking media watches, right? You know, guys like fucking Clay Travis, dudes like Skip Bayless, all these fucking nerds on Fox, ESPN, CBS. It's always the same shit. It's always the same fucking toxicity coming out their mouths. And it's the Lakers bashing. And of course, the Lakers lose 111-106 against the Clippers on Christmas Day. And I've said this, you know, good on the Clippers. They win on Christmas. You know, their fucking rabies-filled team, led by the fucking mongrel known as Patrick Beverley, who I think is a fucking incarnate of a soccer player. That dude is a fucking flopper. And that dude is, as much as you talk about the hard grind, is kind of an unbearable fuck. He really is. And I really hoped this was the game we can come out against the Clippers and show out. But the Lakers blew a 15-point lead. The reality of that game to me was the Lakers are good, but they're just one piece away. I think they're one small forward, versatile forward who could defend and shoot the three. They are one forward away from really pushing at it. Because, yeah, blowing the 15-point lead, it really has to do a lot with how LBJ was shooting like dog shit. And maybe Frank Vogel not inserting Kyle Kuzma enough in the lineup. I don't know. But to me, I look at that Lakers loss and I'm kind of encouraged. Yeah, it's a 4-game losing streak, but I look at the 4-game losing streak and think, man, look at these top tier teams. Look at these elite tier teams. And yes, I do include Indiana in this conversation because just how impressive they've been all throughout the season. They have been immensely impressive. So I look at the 4 teams, the Milwaukee Bucks, Dallas Mavericks, Indiana Pacers, and Clippers, and feel as though the Lakers have so much room to improve, and I think that's a good thing because I don't think the players are playing 100% up to their potential. I don't think everyone's 100% fit and ready. And I'm telling you, man, throughout the progression of the season, as long as we maintain health and keep our guys on the up, you know, positive mentality, I mean, we should be good. I don't overhype this Christmas game at all. I didn't, to be honest. Even going into this game, I said, hey, man, if we win, it's going to be great. I'll be an arrogant fuck about it. But I know in the back of my mind that it is just one game. Is one game out of an 82-game season, and if we lose, yeah, I mean, the reality is, you lose, and you have to only look in the mirror and think, man, what's the flaw here? What's the problem here? And the Lakers are going to have to take a good look at themselves and get a little bit of self-reflection, self-assessment going. And they do have a game on Saturday against the Portland Trailblazers at Portland, so hopefully the Lakers can figure themselves out and get a win here. For the benefit of the fans. I mean, a 4-game losing streak is a fucking bummer all on its own. But there you go, boys and girls. Hopefully the Lakers can shake out of this apathy. But, my God, the last game in the Christmas Day NBA games, wow. The Denver Nuggets, hyped up to be the second best team in the West, of course. I mean, of course they are. Ranking-wise, they are. But they took on the New Orleans Pelicans in Denver and lost 112-100 in Denver. Yeah. So my buddy is a Denver Nuggets fan, and I remember him talking so much shit after the Lakers lost, and I told him, I hope your fucking team gets blown out so I could just fucking laugh on your goddamn grave. And as soon as they lost, I texted him. I said, well, where did all that shit talking go? Because the Denver Nuggets looked pedestrian as all hell against a New Orleans team that is young, hungry, and have been counted out. for quite some time. I mean, they have been, looked down upon, and boy, oh boy, guys like Drew Holiday, Brandon Ingram going off, that was impressive. And shout out to my boys, Lonzo Ball, Brandon Ingram, and even the cuntback known as Josh Hart, former Lakers. The reason why I say cuntback Josh Hart, he tried to injure LBJ and AD in that New Orleans game. And I know people say not intentional, but come on, dude. You're a professional athlete. You can contort your body however the fuck you want. You have control of that shit. Yet you went for the fucking physical attack on our two guys. So, yeah, cut back Josh Hart. But yeah, the Pelicans looked great. I thought they looked fantastic in a game where the Nuggets looked, again, very abysmal, very pedestrian, and just lacking any sort of aggression. And I think that might bite them in the ass in the playoffs in a couple months here. But Denver rolls on. And so that was your Christmas games for the weekend, boys and girls. And I'm not going to lie to you. I have not been all that impressed with some of these teams in regards to how they performed. Obviously, the Lakers, I was a bit disappointed that they couldn't get through, but encouraged by potentially what could happen when everyone's 100%. And, I'm waiting for that moment post All-Star break when everything's gelling, everything's good to go. And right now for the Lakers, we do have leeway. We do have some leeway because of all those games won early in the months. And so, yeah, Lakers are still on top despite the loss. The Milwaukee Bucks are still on top despite the loss. So, like I said, Christmas Day games are just one game. There's sometimes reason to freak out about it just because it's a great talking point for the media, and it's Christmas. Nothing else going on in Christmas except that shit. But yeah, man, it's just one game. 82-game fucking season. And of course, it could be a huge momentum shifter, but I'm hoping for those teams that lost, shake themselves out of apathy to get themselves into shape. Even if I hate the Houston Rockets, I want them to be decent enough so they can fulfill their embarrassing narrative in the playoffs. So, kind of a masochistic, sadistic shit to say. Sadomasochism. That's what I'm all about here, SkyLounge. But, goddamn, man. I'm just having a good time shitting on people. Shitting on people's hopes and dreams. That's what I do. It's called trolling. Or just stating facts. It's not really trolling. It's kind of just stating facts. And listen, I will say the fact to you. Boxing Day, to me, has always been a day where I appreciate the Premier League in its fullest. Because Boxing Day is a day where almost every team in the Premier League has a match going on. And when that happens, I am a happy camper. Obviously, Arsenal, with their new head coach manager, Mikel Arteta, took on the pitch against Bournemouth. They drew 1-1. And I wasn't too disappointed. I wasn't too mad. I just thought, okay, cool. As long as we get some decent fixtures around the other matches, I should be happy. Arteta looked all right. I wasn't really distraught or too hyped. I was just kind of indifferent. All right, I can take that. But other matches in the Premier League was very curious. Obviously, Liverpool trashing and thrashing Leicester City 4-0 is massive. Is absolutely massive. It's crazy because now they're 13 points ahead of Leicester, or I think City, who's in second place. And man, it's just wild to think that this may be the year potentially Liverpool actually wins the Premier League. And I don't know, I always leave that kind of space and room for an if. We never know. We never know what the hell can happen. But wow, Liverpool has looked fantastic all throughout. And man, their annoying ass fan base who surprisingly has grown over the last few months, will be more unbearable. Speaking of unbearable, Chelsea lost 2-0 at home against Southampton, which is joyous to all. I believe United won 4-1 against Newcastle United. And Tottenham coming back from 1-0 deficit to win 2-1. You essentially have the quote-unquote top 6 teams relative to how much they, spend on players and other things within their organization. They all kind of came out with decent enough results except Chelsea, because fuck Chelsea. And Manchester City does still have a match upcoming, so it's going to be very interesting to see how the rest of the Premier League shape up. Now, a couple of things I wanted to end on. When we were talking about basketball, we should have talked about the boy Lukas Doncic of Dallas Mavericks is actually going to be partnered with Jordan Brand. So Lukas Doncic is now partnered with the Jordan Brand, and couldn't be happier for him. And I can't wait for some Luka shoes to drop, because, oh my God, I am a huge fan of Luka, boys and girls. I got my Luka Slovenia jersey. And I'm not going to lie to you, kids. I'm very proud of this jersey. Proud of this jersey because when I went to Dallas, I was one of the few people that was wearing the international team for Luka. And the dude's so solid. The dude is so fantastic, and I'm so happy for him getting the Jordan Brand contract and him coming back last night against the San Antonio Spurs in Dallas. I mean, what a relief for him after a scary ankle injury, nearing a triple-double last night on 20-plus points. This guy is just a stud. Every time you watch Luka Doncic, you can't help but be impressed. I'm telling you, man, every time I watch Luka, I just think to myself, wow, this dude is 20. This dude is 20 years old. I hope he keeps it going. Because greatness like that should keep going. But mediocrity should be panned with quick action. And nipping the bud of mediocrity is hard sometimes, but you got to do it. You got to do it to take the next step in evolution. And this is where we talk about some NFL action. All right, boys and girls. The Atlanta Falcons are going to be bringing back Dan Quinn. I asked the pertinent question, why? Why are you bringing back a head coach who has shown you nothing but mediocrity, nothing but choking, and nothing but ego, arrogance, and stupidity, yet you are going to bring him back for the 2020 season? Is that fucking right? Oh, wow. And you're going to keep the GM. That's fantastic. Wow. The Atlanta Falcons. Dumbasses extraordinaire. It's incredible. It is absolutely incredible how they think that is a viable plan. Dan Quinn coming back for another fucking year. You guys are fucked. And the Falcons are going to do the same thing where they pretend they're fucking competitive. Because we all know, with that shit-ass O-line, Matt Ryan, the derp, bro, you're going to go fucking 7-9 again. At best, 8-8. You're going to pick outside the top 10 in the draft. And what do you want me to fucking say about your goddamn division? It's usually the Saints to own, as of the last few years. Oh, but we went to the Super Bowl. Yeah, the Super Bowl where you blew a 20-3 lead under head coach Dan Quinn. Yeah, smart fucking move. Unbelievable. But again, it's Atlanta. It is totally believable. A city that has been plagued by awful sports franchises. A history of choking and just underperforming, and it is hilarious. It's hilarious. And what's also hilarious to me, within that division too, funny enough, is the Saints are working out Antonio Brown, which, fuck Antonio Brown. That motherfucker doesn't deserve another chance. Goddamn sexual assault learner from the mastery of Ben Rapisberger. and just an all-around team cancer. And this guy's getting another fucking opportunity. Makes me sick. Makes me pretty sick. And so I'm hoping, even if Antonio Brown gets signed, he fails miserably. I don't like that cat. I think he is a miserable piece of shit to this league. I think he gives the NFL a terrible name, especially for wide receivers. And yeah, I feel like, cool, if the Saints load up on talent like that, I think they might implode. Maybe divisional round, maybe in the conference final, but I think they implode with all this shit. But we'll see. We'll see what happens. And speaking of seeing what was going to happen, the World Junior Championship has started yesterday. And yeah, Team USA got their ass kicked by Team Canada in the first game of the World Junior Championship. I mean, they blew a 2-0 lead. 3-4 unanswered goals. And then just the third period was a mess for USA. And yeah, it sucks. But hey, it's a tourney. We just got to keep it going, USA. Got to keep it going. And yeah, that's going to do it for me here, boys and girls, on Cruise Peruse. So follow me at the Sky Lounge on all the links in the description below. Like, comment, subscribe for more daily contents. Fuck off.